Hey, what's up, you guys? Cameron Cornish here, your #1 real estate agent in St. George. And today we're going to be talking about the great outdoors. That's right. One of the reasons I loved moving from Las Vegas to St. George was to be in a closer proximity to just nature and outdoor activities. I grew up fishing and camping with my dad, so that love of nature was instilled into me at a very early age. And now that we live here in Southern Utah, we get to take advantage of all the great opportunities out here. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about everything from Zion National Park to big game hunts. So put your hiking boots on, come with me and explore. This is Living in STG. All right, you guys, let's cover some real estate first. As we're talking about the great outdoors here, the first community that comes to my mind is Kayenta, which lies just west of Ivins, Utah. And it really is an amazing, just special location. It almost feels magical. They pride themselves on the desert living lifestyle. And as you come into the neighborhood, they have an art village. There's some really cool and unique stuff here. Not just the art, there's also a restaurant called Extiva. You can go in there, lounge, get food, have a good time, meet with friends. They even have a really cool historic area in the real estate office of Kayenta as well, where you can kind of look at all of the history when it was built. There's a lot of archaeological stuff around here, hikes for days. In addition to the art district, they also even have like an outdoor theater as well. They're always constantly doing events there and art galleries. Super cool place. Another thing that's awesome is it's actually connected to Fire Lake over in Ivins, which you guys have heard me talk about in my past video. It's kind of my little fishing hole over there. So that's another awesome thing. Again, you guys, so many cool trails to take. Now look at the real estate. One thing I love about the real estate here is it almost looks like it's built into the mountains. These are all adobe style homes here, and sometimes you don't even notice you're driving past a home just because of the way it sits. And they do it in such a strategic way where everything in your home is set up perfectly designed to fit into the mountainscape and the desertscape here. It really is a magical place. So I definitely wanted to show you guys Kayenta as a place where if you're the kind of person that says, hey, I want to live in St. George, but I don't want to be in the city, I would point you over to Kayenta to go look at. Ton of wildlife, the stars are beautiful at night, and there's a lot of history there. All right, you guys, next up, we went and took a little trip with the family, got the kids out of the house, and went up to Zion National Park to do some hikes up there. First thing we did was we actually stopped at Fort Zion on Highway 9, heading out to Zion. And this was a cool little shop in here. I definitely want to recommend checking it out first. Go in there, check out all the trinkets, all the cool stuff that they got in there, all types of souvenirs that you can get. There's an ice cream shop in there. And then if you even want to take advantage of the petting zoo area they have as well for the kids, you can feed them. They got llamas and all types of cool stuff. So definitely check that out. But we finally made it into the park, and I think my kids' favorite part of the entire experience was hopping on these shuttles and driving around the park and just seeing all these magnificent views everywhere. But the hike that we actually did with the family this day was called Riverside Walk. And what you're doing is you're walking right along the Virgin River right there, and you're actually headed towards a hike called the Narrows. We didn't do that one just because it gets kind of strenuous. You're pretty much, knee to thigh deep in the water hiking through this entire canyon, and we didn't want to do that with the kids, but that's another hike I definitely recommend as well. And we were just blown away. I mean, the views inside of this canyon and just all around Zion National Park is an experience in itself. And now, if you're planning a visit to Zion, make sure you plan accordingly, because this is actually the second most visited national park in the United States. It gets about 5 million visitors annually. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. We actually went on a weekday. That's the benefit of having homeschool kids. So overall, I mean, the way that they have everything set up at the park is super efficient between the shuttles and just the way that they maneuver everybody around here does make for a great experience. But there's just so much to take in while you're here. I mean, you're looking at over 150,000 acres within Zion, and there's over 100 miles of hiking trails alone. That's one right there called Angel's Landing that I definitely recommend everybody do But even if you're not into hiking and you just want to drive up here into Springdale and grab some food and hang out with the family, I think that's a great thing to do as well. Super glad that we got the opportunity to do that. We stopped at Bubbleberry Bakery and grabbed some food here with the kids and even got some ice cream for them afterwards. They had a super good time. But man, the views out here are just amazing as you look around, even as you're driving in and out. Just so worth it, you guys. Check out Zion National Park. Go do it with your family. Make some memories. We had a blast. All right, you guys, joining me today is Brandon Neal. Brandon and I actually go back more than a decade.
It's been a long time.
Now, it's been a super long time in a previous business. And Brandon had a lot of success there. Everything he touched pretty much turns to gold, I feel like. Now,
you didn't do too bad yourself.
I did okay. Yeah, not as good as you. But Brandon now is actually running a company called Rolling Bones, which is an outfitting company. That's why I wanted him to come on today, talk to us a little bit about that. So, Brandon, thanks for joining me, man.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks
it.
for having me.
So, talk to me a little bit. How long have you lived in St. George altogether now?
So, I grew up in northern Utah, Sandy, Utah. We moved down here in 2003, I believe. So, 21 years.
Dang, quite some time.
I know,
quite some time.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah,
it's a cool place to live.
How did your passion for hunting kind of develop? Was that something that happened at an early age, or?
Yeah, I was really blessed to be raised in a hunting family. So my dad took me out when I was a little kid, and I was just one of those fortunate few that grew up. I like to say I hunted before it was cool.
Yeah.
So we used to go out and hunt in our jeans and our flannel shirts. And
Nice,
things,
nice. Before all the camos.
Before all the
cool and popular.
Technology and all that. Yeah. So I mean, hunting before it was cool for sure.
Yeah, love it. We look around here, ton of taxidermy, obviously a lot of big game that you've killed as well, which is awesome. We'll get into that. That kind of brings us into Rolling Bones, right?
Yep. So my buddy and I, Brian Naiman and I, previous business together, and knew each other from that. Both had a passion for hunting. Both hunted with a lot of different guides and outfitters throughout the years. And he said, I think I'm going to start an outfitting business. I said, I'd love to be with you in on that. I love doing that as well. So we kind of started piecing together hunts way back then. First of all, we recognized a big issue out there, and that is when people book a hunt a lot of times, one, they don't know where to go. They might just go to Google, and we say, don't get Googled.
Yeah.
They'll go to Google, they'll just call the outfitter.
Right.
A lot of times the outfitters will tell you what you want to hear instead of what maybe the real story is.
Yeah.
So people will spend their hard-earned money and time and go on that hunt. It ends up not being the hunt or the experience they wanted it to be. We thought, man, we've been on the good ones, we've been on the bad ones. We're going to go in and vet the camps, get to know the outfitters really well, make sure that we know what's involved in the hunt, what's included, what's not included, what the actual hunting is like. We can say, look, this is a good area, good game density, there's lodging or not lodging, there's food or not food, whatever it is, right? And then the outfitter, here's their personality type. We even get down to the nitty gritty with that.
Awesome.
And we want to make sure it's just you're getting what you're paying for.
Got it.
So we kind of started off with that.
Okay.
Getting tags is a big issue. So we like to say, like, our tagline, Rolling Bones Outdoors, is we're the world's leading authority for applications and adventures.
Right.
Because you got to apply for tags. Every state's different deadlines, different regulations, different rules, different units, right?
Yeah.
Very complex process. So we do all the application strategies for somebody. So if you want to start applying in multiple states, you want to increase your opportunities to draw tags because you can't hunt without a tag.
Right, totally.
And getting tags are harder and harder to get, right? So like, for example, to get a tag on Pine Valley, I think it's 6 or 7 points now. You got to apply for that many years before you draw. You could draw prior to that, but it's going to take more.
Totally.
You just got to know, what units you want to apply for, how to do it all. So we do all that for somebody. Like, we have a membership. It's cheap. It's $200 a year.
Got it.
We do all of that.
Awesome. Rolling Bones super unique is it's not just an outfitting company. You guys do other stuff than that as well, right? There's courses that you do, and everything else. Talk to us a little bit about that. Yeah.
So that's a big deal. In fact, my dad, I was out with him this morning a little bit, and we were talking about just some people that we know that they have a rifle, a nice rifle, but they don't really know how to shoot it very well.
Yeah.
And this happens often where somebody will wait 10, 15, 20 years to draw a tag. They draw this tag of a lifetime, or they buy this, they've saved up all these years to go do this once in a lifetime hunt. and they don't even know how to use their rifle to its fullest capabilities.
Totally.
If the situation's perfect, they can make a shot,
Yeah.
arguably.
Yeah.
So we teach how to use your rifle in hunting scenarios,
Cool.
and not just close shots. But there might be some close shots. Sometimes a close shot's harder than a far long range shot, depending on the setup. But we'll go all the way long range, you know, and we want to teach people to know their capabilities, so they're not taking unethical shots.
Coming back to Southern Utah here, you know, talk to us a little bit about the game here. If somebody wanted to obviously start hunting down here in particular, what are some native animals that they could probably get their hands on?
Yeah.
Some cool hunts.
So this area is growing so much. I mean, so, you know, a lot of times when it comes to hunting, there's obviously deer, elk, you know, you got to apply for those things. Yep. You can buy over-the-counter elk tags and hunt in various places in the state. But a lot of it is public land, which is hard to find good public land where you're actually going to find animals to hunt.
And it's not overcrowded.
But if you know some people with some good private ground, that can help.
Yeah.
But you know, there's rabbits, there's pheasant hunts you can do fairly close by. But you know, there's waterfowl hunting as well. I mean, if you're willing to travel a little bit, you know, anywhere in Utah, Arizona, Nevada, there's hunting. So if there's hunts that people wanted a particular animal you want to hunt, maybe antelope's another option too. Yeah. Again, you got to get tags for these things, but that's where we come in to help you kind of get all those things.
And I know you and I have had pretty good success too, even driving an hour out and doing some predator hunts too.
Yeah, right? A little bit. Yeah, it's tougher. I mean, so it's getting, every year that goes by, it seems to be getting tougher. I think there's more and more people doing that. Yeah. The challenge is there's a ton of BLM. Yep. There's not a lot of private. That's good because you can go out and just hunt, but it's bad because everybody can just go hunt.
True, makes sense.
Whereas you go to these other states, you got to know ranchers and farmers, and so we line up a lot of that kind of stuff. Cool. And then you're going on land where nobody else is hunting, just you, but you got to have access to that kind of stuff. So again, that's where we can help you.
Well, I know you've had a lot of experience hunting, so I'm curious, and I wanted to ask this, like, what's your craziest hunting story, man? Tell us a little bit about that.
So that's a good question because I've got a lot of them. Craziest, I will say one of my favorites, maybe somewhat crazy. I've been to Alaska several times. We're up there for a Dall sheep hunt. So this white Dall sheep I have back here. I actually went up before I got this one. That was my second trip up there.
Okay.
So I went up the first time for a Dall sheep, didn't get one. But we went up and we got within, 30 yards of 5 rams. And none of them were quite old enough, right? But it was cool. We watched them. And earlier that day, we saw this caribou that's up on my wall here on my left. And we saw him earlier. Actually, we saw him the day before, and we kind of knew where he was. And I thought, well, if there's no rams in this basin, we'll go kill that caribou, we'll regroup, and we'll go back to sheep, right? Because we could hunt sheep, caribou, or bear on that hunt.
Got it.
So anyway, so we decided to head back to camp. I said, hey, if we can glass up that caribou down in this basin where we were camped, let's go see if we can get on him. So we get in the basin, we start glassing, and it took us a little bit of time, but we did find him, and we found he was bedded down. And as we're watching him and making a game plan to get him, we see this bear actually right here making a stalk on the caribou. And the caribou didn't know the bear was coming, but we're like, oh, there's a bear. Let's listen. And it's a brown bear, right? So we bail off the mountain as fast as we can, and the bear obviously didn't get the caribou. So this bear was just kind of trotting along. Yeah. Didn't know we were down there. We got right in front of it, and he was like 500 yards. We just got in front of him, and I just got on my belly and sat down, and just watched him walk in. So he got in. Once he got within about 400 yards, I shot the bear. Yep. And so the bear was down. We're like, okay, that's awesome. We got him. And then walk up to it, beautiful bear. And then we go, let's go get that caribou because we knew where he was. Yeah. And like within an hour later, we were able to get the caribou back to back, same day, like within a few. So the crazy thing about that hunt is we hunted an entire week, the first week, down in the river bottoms for bear, and it was just too hot. We didn't even see anything. And then after a week, we went up into the sheep mountains. Wow. And boom, boom, in one day.
So cool, man.
All that happened. So cool. That's one of many, but that was a cool story. Yeah. And then we had to pack them out. I think we were in 15 miles or so. And
that's where the real work begins, right?
Oh, my gosh. Like, I've done endurance, Ironmans and things. So that was the hardest physical thing I've ever done, packing out all that meat.
I bet.
And there was 3 of us.
Yeah.
And man, it was just, I think our packs probably each weighed 100 to 120 pounds each.
Wow.
And you're walking in rivers and through willows, and you got these caribou horns on your back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
But what
So
an adventure.
cool. Primal, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Love it. Well, talk to us. We'll finish off. If somebody wants to get some more info in their hands about Rolling Bones or sign up for a membership or a course or anything like that, walk us through how they would go about doing that.
Yeah, so they can call me. I don't know if you want to give my number on here.
You can do that.
So they can call me, 435-817-1802 is my cell number. Just give me a call.
Okay.
rollingbonesoutdoors.com. That's our website. Instagram, brandonneal.rbo is my Instagram handle. Any one of those ways. Do a consultation with you online, get you your own customized dashboard. That's complimentary to do that. And then if you want to take advantage of the application services, you just become a member. Like I said, it's $200 a year, and you get all the member pricing, unlimited hunt planning. It's kind of like a dating service for hunting, honestly.
Yeah, there it is. It is. Cool, you guys. Contact Brandon, Rolling Bones, Brandon Neal. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks
for
again.
coming.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, you guys, hopefully you enjoyed that video there and you learned a ton about the great outdoors here in Southern Utah. One of the main reasons I love living out here is just experience all that and take part in so many great opportunities. If you want to get some information about some other neighborhoods that are similar to Kayenta, where you can kind of experience the solitude of the desert and the outdoors, definitely reach out to me. I'd love to get some more info in your hands about that. But make sure you go experience Zion National Park, and hey, reach out to Brandon for some big game hunts, or even if you want to do some shooting courses to learn how to shoot long range, that's definitely something you can do as well. But I want to learn more about your guys' goal as far as moving here to St. George, so make sure you reach out to me as well. My number's on the screen. Do me a favor, text me, call me. I would love to know what you're thinking, what your game plan is, and help you along this journey of possibly moving here to St. George, Utah. Maybe even send me an email if that's easier for you. Whatever way works for you works for me. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. God bless.